It's the NFL on EA Sports, and there's no love lost between these AFC South foes. It's the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans, next on Madden NFL 23.
We are pleased as always to be bringing you coverage of the National Football League on EA Sports. Today, it's a good matchup in the AFC South between the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Houston Texans. With Charles Davis, as always, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you talk about storylines in this one. I think it begins and ends with our two quarterbacks, certainly two of the best in the business.
And nowadays, I don't think you can get by for long periods of time without a top-flight quarterback. The way the game is played, with all the responsibility he has and how the game flows through him, if he's not on the top of his game, your team's not going to benefit at all.
And we are underway from NRG Stadium in Houston. From the end zone, here comes Williams. So here's the first drive now for the Jags. And they'll be led out by their left-handed quarterback.
If you ask coaches at any level to design their ideal leader of a team, I think they're going to check every box with this guy. He's got the poise to handle responsibility. He stays calm under any kind of pressure, and he brings out the best of his teammates each and every week.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And his first pass here is going to fall incomplete.
Had the right idea there, trying to throw it to the sideline, but he let him just a little bit too much, trying to get it out to his receiver. Ends up falling to the ground incomplete.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. They'll look to throw here. Hit as he throws there, incomplete.
They have to like what they've done defensively here at the outset of this drive. They forced a couple of incomplete passes, bring up a 3rd and 10. Don't be surprised to bring a little pressure on this snap.
Crowd getting in it a bit already. Here's an early 3rd and 10. He'll look to throw. It's complete to Williams. And he will not make it to that imaginary yellow line as they get him to the ground at about the 23. It's a gain of 6, but not enough, as they'll be forced to punt on their first drive of the game. Able to get the completion, but unfortunately not able to get the 3rd down conversion there on that play.
And I like how the defense approached that one. They knew where the first down marker was, and they decide whatever you want to have, you can. You're just not going to get the first down. Excellent tackling right there.
And the Jaguars send out their punter. He'll kick it away after a 3-and-out on the opening drive of the game. And the fair catch is made at about the 27-yard line. Out comes the Houston offense as they get set to take over here. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They start the drive on the ground. It's Williams. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. Give him 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give him a 1st down.
Well, there's plenty of real estate for him to maneuver on that run, and let's face it, it shouldn't be a surprise. He's one of the better backs in the league. Had to come into this game with the idea, slow him down, otherwise it's going to be a long afternoon.
A 1st down carry for Foster. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston 1st down.
Just a terrific run there, Charles, from a running back who is so compact and powerful, and that strength was on display there.
And with a guy his size, you have to know defensively that arm tackles aren't going to fly with him. You have to be able to wrap up, or else he can just brush tacklers aside like they're not even there.
And the next-gen stats shows us the tale of how much yardage he was able to pick up after the initial contact.
So in Jacksonville territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. They'll go again with Foster. Trying to find a lane, but instead he'll get back to the line of scrimmage and no more. Miles Jack there to make the tackle.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
So after the run for no gain, here's 2nd and 10. They'll try the air now with Watson. And a quick throw here, that's complete.
And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line. So after several rushes to start the game, Charles, they go to the air there and get a nice completion.
Nice mix-up on the play calling, right? Establish the running game, make the defense think you're going to do it again, and then hit them over the top. Now you've got them betwixt and between. They don't know which way you're going to come at them.
They'll try and run for it with Foster. And that play went nowhere. Losing yardage. It'll be back at the 36. That'll make it 4th down after a loss of 1.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Here's Foster on 4th. And he gets it to the 32. Good enough for a 1st down. Good spot on the field to go for it. Kind of no man's land, as they call it, and it worked out.
Yeah, they call it no man's land because your punter's telling you it's too short. I'm just going to punt it into the end zone. Your field goal kicker might give you a little raised eyebrow. Might be too far for the field goal, so it gives you a great chance to go for it. Personally, if you have those tendencies to be aggressive as a head coach, you kind of like this spot because it gives you the decision to go ahead and go for it when you want to anyway.
So this offense able to convert on 4th, and now a fresh set of downs here, 1st and 10.
Going up the middle, Foster. And nothing much materializing there on the 1st down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held him to a gain of 2, and that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Foster on 2nd down. Ooh, the juke.
What a great effort there. He's going to get this inside the 15, and they'll spot it at the 13-yard line. Nice run.
A big one there for the Texans, 18 yards. Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script, you go through your play calling, you go through all the stuff and establish things, and it looks like it's going like clockwork right now for them.
From the 13 now, they work on 1st and 10.
They keep it in the hands of Foster. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1.
48 yards rushing for him on their opening drive of the contest, and it's now 1st and goal.
So back-to-back big runs, picking apart this defense on the opening drive.
I thought this was a passing league. I thought this was the era we were in where the ball was always in the air, right?
They didn't get the memo.
They didn't get the memo, and I know this to be true. Offensive linemen still, to this day, they want to run the football. They want to fire out and hit people across the line of scrimmage, and they're clearing space.
1st and goal at the 1. First and goal, Foster.
And he is not going to get through here on try number 1. They stop him at the goal line. No gain on the play, and it's going to be 2nd and goal.
They're right there at the 1. No gain, but don't let that stop you. Line back up and keep going at them. If I'm them, I'm thinking about going at it 4 straight times.
On 2nd and goal, Watson. And that is caught. Touchdown, Texans! From a yard out.
And the Texans get the upper hand as they're on the board first here this afternoon.
An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you, boxer in the gym, preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. So that one a long 11-play drive. And the result, a Houston touchdown. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown.
This fielded right at the goal line. And he'll get it up just past the 20 as his guys will go to work at the 21-yard line.
So time to see Jacksonville again on offense for the 2nd time here in this game.
These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
And he's taken down but able to slip across the 35. They went 3 and out on their first drive. Things already looking better here. 1st and 10. We often give credit to the O-line there. 2 tight end formation. Those tight ends block pretty well also.
Yeah, and that's one of the most dynamic positions in football now. The tight ends who can block at the line of scrimmage at the point of attack, and they can also get downfield and catch the football.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Now back to throw. And this one complete to Smith. And that'll be good for 8 yards to the 45. A play-action fake. They'll look to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Brady.
And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 49-yard line.
Running straight ahead, Taylor.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Sometimes you just sit back and marvel at what he can do defensively. Speed, strength, quickness, he's the whole package. And that package just wrapped up the runner for a loss.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. They'll look to throw. That's into a crowd and intercepted. And the Texans are going to take over at their own 41. Defensively that time, they were in zone coverage. As a rookie QB, what lesson can you learn there?
Well, understand this. You saw zone in college, and the defensive backs reacted, but they don't react like they do on this level. So when they're in zone and they see the ball coming to them, they'll react at least a half a second faster. You've got to know where you want to go with the ball and be decisive with it. Otherwise, the end result can be something you don't like.
Good starting field position for the Houston Texans here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They'll start on the ground with Foster, and he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
When you're lateral to the line of scrimmage, linebackers keep those shoulders square so they can go up and down, but when it's time to go, turn your shoulders just like a running back. Get through the line and hit the runner in the backfield.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11. Now it's Watson. Caught left side, Williams. And he'll get it out a couple yards shy of midfield at the 48. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice sessions, you're going to want to be aware of him. Where is he lining up? What can he do? What kind of damage can he do to us downfield? And who can match up with him without weakening our overall defense? You're exactly right. It's a tough task to match up to him.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn it into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
On 1st down, Watson. And he's going to be sacked. They sack him back right at the midfield stripe. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
And we all know how talented this guy is who's calling the signals for him, but even the best in the game, they can struggle against a good, cohesive zone coverage. Can't find a gap in the secondary quick enough, and he ends up taking a sack.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Up the middle, it's Williams. A beautiful fake. They'll get 4 back there on the run, but now they're looking up at a 3rd and 12 situation.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
Throwing on 3rd down, Watson going deep for Hopkins. And this is dropped. Oh, it's incomplete. He had a big gainer in his sights, but he could not reel it in.
Well, they went for the big play there, but that drop could really hurt their momentum.
The Texans send the punter out, as he should be able to pin him back deep here with his first punt. And this one hits at the one, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go.
And we'll see if they can bounce back from that last drive, in particular if they can bounce back at the quarterback position, Charles, after throwing their first interception of the ball game.
Yeah, and some guys, they're going to want to try and get a big play right away and take control back. Others, they're going to want to look to hit a couple shorter passes and get a little momentum back that way.
But for the defense, that goal's not changing a bit. They want another pick.
You're exactly right about that. In fact, you've got to watch them a little bit because in coverage, they may cut down their gaps a little bit, maybe their splits a little bit in order to try and get to the ball even faster.
Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
And this is what you've got to do against a quarterback like him. You've got to keep him in the pocket and not let him get to the perimeter, because once he gets outside, that's where he can really hurt you.
Second and 14 as they've got work to do here after the sack. Up the middle, here's Taylor. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. Calling no gain there, and it brings forth a third and long. This defense, tough to run against, and those linebackers, they go side to side up the field, and there they get him for no gain.
If you can't get linemen upfield to the second level to occupy them, they have a field day just running to the football and putting ball carriers on the ground. Not many yards after contact when they wrap up like that.
Now on third and long, they'll look to throw. Williams brings it in.
And he will have a Jaguars first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe needs some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
So from the 36 now, first and 10. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. He's airing it out for Williams. And that is incomplete.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
They'll try again from the 36 on second and 10. He'll drop to throw. Throw left side complete. That's Mitchell. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a third and 3. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot. Because when you're able to do that and you don't give up big chunks of yardage after the catch, now you put the offense in a position where every series they have to work hard to pick up first downs, and you tend to stall them out when you do that.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Jags with the football to begin the second quarter. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another first and 10.
They'll look to throw again. It's caught. Smith.
And he'll be taken down here just shy of the 30. Seems as if the passing attack's starting to heat up a little bit here in the second quarter.
You can sense and you can see the momentum, because now they're reading their patterns downfield, they're understanding the coverages, and they're finding the open holes in the defense.
look to throw again. Caught right side. It's Lewis.
And he'll be marked down at about the 26-yard line.
I'm wondering if the same thing went through your mind as mine. When I see a big man like that make a catch, all I keep thinking to myself is, big man with football. Look out, everyone. He may not juke you a whole lot, right? He may not run past you because of his size. You're talking about a guy weighing in the 270 range. But boy, once he gets his mitts on the ball, he's going to be tough to bring down.
Throwing again on second down, but this time it's incomplete.
The coverage was good, but I just wonder if they absolutely fooled the quarterback on that play. I think he was expecting something else, ended up with nowhere to throw the football successfully.
So they need 6 yards here on third down. They're 2 for 2 on third down tries so far on this drive. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he comes back with one complete.
And he is going to have a Jags first down as he's able to get 8 yards there on 3rd and 5.
Well, they've certainly done a nice job spreading the ball around on this drive. This time he gets it out to his back, and it's another nice play and another first down. They've got the defense on their heels a little bit. They're reacting instead of being aggressive and making plays.
So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
From the red zone now, they'll look to throw. Throw taken in by Taylor, left side.
And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
On second down, it's Taylor.
And he may have given those 6 yards right back as they're going to get to him well behind the line. They call that a loss of 6 yards. And it's third down now.
Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack.
Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they're dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they bring in your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Flushed out right. And the throw there going to be incomplete. Blanketed coverage by Houston. Makes it 4th down.
What an excellent defensive stand there in the red zone. Nice tight coverage. They certainly recognized how important it was to bring up 4th down here.
Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. From the right hash, it's a 35-yard attempt. And his kick here is good. And they are on the board, but still trailing. It's 7-3.
So that kick gives them their first points of the game, CD. And it comes on the 3rd drive, but hopefully for them that's a spark that gets that offense going.
Yeah, and I would say if you're the offensive play caller, as you look at your sheet, you're trying to find that part on there that unlocks bigger points. They've struggled with a few drives so far, finally got 3 out of it. How do you find the end zone? That's what he's searching for now.
Scobie now, kick it away after the made field goal. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. There again is the running back as he trots onto the field. He's over 40 yards here in the second quarter. Been nice and effective for them, hasn't he?
He has definitely been dependable, and really shouldn't underestimate what he's getting done here, because anytime you're on a pace that's going to approach 100 yards, you've really done some damage in an NFL game.
And now he's looking just to add to his totals. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start this drive out on the ground.
And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be 2nd down.
They suspected that it was a power play up the middle coming at them, and boy, were they right. That defense got downhill in a hurry and limited them to just a couple on 1st down.
The last run got a couple. Here's 2nd and 8. They run up the middle with Foster.
And he'll get a couple up to the 29. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And this offense on 3rd down today, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it.
And he is going to have a Texans 1st down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. 1st down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Watson off play action. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. That's Yannick Ngakoue with a sack.
He's certainly one of those quarterbacks that can burn you with his mobility, but that time able to hem him in and get him to the ground.
Perfect descriptor right there about how they kept him in the pocket. Excellent job of containment, but they were still able to continue to bring such strong pressure without letting him escape. But how about those guys in the secondary as well? Kept the coverage tight, plastered to the receivers, and left no real options for him to throw it downfield.
They'll come up after the sack on a 2nd and 12. To throw is Watson. The catch made by DeAndre Hopkins. And he's going to have another 1st down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 43. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
You can see the time and effort and thought that they put into their passing game because it was evident right there. It looks like a simple pitch and catch, but you and I both know that they had planned for this and worked hard to make it happen.
So in Jacksonville territory now. Here's a 1st and 10 at the 43. From the pistol, it's Foster. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
You've got to be impressed by that defensive front on reps like those. They were not being moved off the line, kept their shoulders square, and gave their teammates time to fight to the ball and limit that gain.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. They'll try and run the option left side.
On a nice burst there as he'll take this inside the 30 to the 28-yard line.
And that one will go for 13 yards on the keeper and a 1st down.
Well, I tell you, there is no antidote for speed, even at the quarterback position, as he keeps it himself and turns it into good yardage.
And it still takes time for a defender to react. Even as quarterbacks carry the ball more and more in today's NFL, they're still a little bit in disbelief and realize, oh my goodness, he's running with the ball. He may be 8, 10, 12 yards downfield at that point.
Faking the give, now Watson.
And that throw behind his man, he missed him, incomplete.
What will look like a march to the end zone has hit a momentary roadblock with that incompletion. No need to panic. They just got to come up with a high percentage play call and see if they can get their offense back on track.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Throwing again is Watson.
And that one too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
Well, every point certainly counts at this stage of the game. But after driving so far, you absolutely know they want to finish it with 6 instead of 3.
This offense was on the move. Now 2 straight incompletions have them looking at 3rd and 10. Back to throw, Watson. He's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th.
Sometimes the game is pretty simple. Put a few extra defensive backs on the field, give them nowhere to throw the football, force the incompletion, and get off the field on 3rd down.
And this one looks good. It is good. Right down the pipe, and they push the lead up to a touchdown now at 10-3.
So a nice kick there as they add 3 to the lead.
And from what I've seen so far, Brandon, I think they've been the better of the 2 teams here in the first half. So even though you want the touchdown, I think that's a nice job there to put 3 points on the board.
Now Brown, after the made field goal, gets set for the kickoff.
And Williams going to sit on this one. It'll be a touchback.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here.
And it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done in a ball game. They've got to find a way to finish these drives in end zones, not having balls go through goalposts.
A carry by Taylor to start the drive.
And he's going to be dropped following a pickup of 7 past the 30 to the 32.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
A good run got 7 on first. Here's 2nd and 3. They're going to look to throw. Throw right side, complete to Williams.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled.
3rd catch of this first half for him, and this one is a first down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, tight, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Finding Williams once more, complete.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
I like that one, partner. They go back-to-back with excellent gains, and really it shouldn't be a surprise who they were throwing the ball to. He's their best guy.
Yeah, we knew that they would get him involved early. They're doubling down on getting him involved early.
Don't be surprised they'll come right back to him again. They haven't shown the propensity to be able to stop him.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory, right at the 40.
They give to Taylor out of the gun.
And nothing much materializing there on the first down run. He'll get a couple, and that's it.
Well, any lane that might have been open there was closed pretty quickly, and that was because the defensive front, they won that battle at the point of attack at the line of scrimmage. They used great leverage, held their spot, and stacked him up.
Here's 2nd and 8.
And that one going to be off target and incomplete. Not sure what happened out there, but it looked like the timing was a little off on that throw.
Hey, you know I'm a defender, so what am I going to say?
Great defense.
Darn right. They did something to disrupt that timing.
They'll need to get it to the 30 for a first. This is 3rd down. He'll look to throw.
He'll drop this down to Taylor.
And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards. He did his best to just get 4 out of that, but not enough. And now 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progression possessions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. On the left hash, officially it's called a 51-yard attempt. And this one is right down Broadway. And that'll bring them back within 4. So they're able to end that drive with 3 points in this one-possession ball game.
And ideally, you want to end every drive with points. Most quarterbacks would tell you, let's end it with a kick, right? A PAT, that's number 1. Field goal you'll take. Punts, you really don't want to do that. In this case, they'll take the field goal and get prepared for the rest of the game.
Scobie now to kick it away after the made field goal. Fielded just outside the goal line. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. Houston set to take over. And they split the uprights last time for 3. They've got the lead. They're not going to play this conservative. They're not hoping for another field goal. They're hoping for a touchdown.
I'm with you on that one. I like where your head is. I like the way you're thinking because you're exactly right. Trying to sit on a lead and play that way, that doesn't work too well for most teams. Run your offense. Run what you do best. Exactly. Put it all the way down and try to increase your lead in a big way. And the best way to do it, touchdowns.
Sliding out of the pocket. And he will not make it back to the line of scrimmage as he's going to be taken down. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. And, of course, that's not an easy man to sack. You know how elusive he can be trying to get outside of the pocket. That was a great play on the defensive side.
And I wonder what was going through his mind because he didn't seem as committed to using his legs to pick up yardage. He wanted to keep that play alive, so either take off and go or throw it away. But he held on to the football and ended up getting sacked.
67 yards rushing for him as he has been tough to stop here this first half.
Now this is an example of breaking down a defense because on a lot of these runs, he's getting past the point of attack, and guess what he's doing? Forcing the secondary guys to have to make a lot of tackles.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll hand off to Foster, and he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Throwing on 2nd and 8. Watson, sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes inbounds. Call it a gain of 6 on the play, and it makes it 3rd down and 2 yards to go. They should have got more out of that, though. He was wide open.
I love how emphatic you are with that call because that's exactly what I was thinking. Wide open in the flat. Give him a ball that he can use to get upfield with, not just catch and go over the sideline. They cost themselves some yardage there.
They'll come to the line, needing only 2 yards to gain the first here. 3rd and 2, Watson. He gets this one to Johnson. And he is going to have a Texans first down as they get 5 there on 3rd and 2.
That's a big conversion there on 3rd down because they did not want to give the ball up here late in the half. They'd love to take the clock all the way down and score. This will definitely help the cause.
A pair of first downs gives him a 1st and 10 up at the 44. Here's Watson. Again, it's Johnson. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
3 yards remain for second down. Now it's Watson. And the catch made by Johnson. And he's able to take it across midfield before going out of bounds. It'll be a pickup of 4, good enough to earn him yet another first down. And defensively, they were in zone coverage there. Do you have to be a little careful you're losing playing against a good quarterback like he is to not play too much zone?
Yeah, you have to be careful about how much time you're giving up. I think it's a good point you just brought up. So maybe if you still want to play zone, you go to a zone blitz scheme. And you can drop anyone out of your defensive front, defensive end, defensive tackle. It doesn't matter. You just exchange someone to bring more pressure towards the quarterback and still try and cover downfield.
They like going to him in the slot. He catches another one.
I think this comes under the heading of until they stop him, why not go back to it? He has something going really well. Great working relationship with the guy throwing the ball, and they keep making the connection.
Get something together.
They'll come up on a 2nd and 4 now from the 40-yard line. Now Watson. Caught left side Hopkins. And he's taken down, but not before reaching the 10-yard line. Now the Texans will use one of their 2 remaining timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds to go in the first half. So not quite a 1st and goal. It's 1st and 10 from the 10. To the air yet again, Watson. Touchdown, Texans! A great effort there. 2 catches, 2 touchdowns here so far. And the Texans will extend their lead in the final minute of the half.
And that's certainly an important score right there because they gave themselves a 2-score cushion heading towards halftime. Now you got to force the other team out of their comfort zone, and it changes the way you approach the second half as well. How you want to do things on offense, and your defense feels much better too, having that lead.
Extra point splits the uprights, and that pushes the lead up to 11. So that one a pretty time-consuming 10-play drive, and it results in the Texans finding the end zone. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. This taken in at the goal line. And the tackle going to be made right there at the 25-yard line. And the Jags going to go on offense now late in this first half. And with him down 2 scores, you wonder if they might try and put something together, even if it's just to get into field goal range. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And they're not able to hook up there. Incomplete.
His back has been a dependable safety valve all game, so he went back to him when his first read was covered. Just unable to connect, so the play results in no gain.
So following the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 25. He'll drop to throw. Complete. This is Lewis. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. The Jaguars going to go ahead and use their first timeout, as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. First and 10 here, and you know, if they could just get 3 out of this, something about whittling it to a 1-score game at half that might provide a psychological boost. He'll get this one into the hands of Lewis. Now another timeout called for by the offense So that means they're down to 1 remaining here as we head toward halftime. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Again, he'll drop to throw. Looking left side, and he's got a man. That's Lewis. And he is out of bounds inside the 30. And that's good for a gain of 6, and that's going to bring up 2nd down.
If anyone ever has any doubt the tight ends are primary targets nowadays, just watch this play. He's back in the pocket, finds his guy, and they get a nice gain out of it.
Yeah, simple little completion out into the flat. Second and 4. They'll look to throw again. And Lewis has it, the tight end. And he's going to be taken down with another 1st down as the stop's made at the Texans' 15-yard line. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts as they stop it with 16 seconds to go in half number 1. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. Over the middle, complete. It's Taylor. And he's able to work it here to the 8-yard line. Nifty running there, but it'll come on what should be the final play of half number 1. So we have reached halftime here in an 11-point contest. As we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcoming everyone to our downtown Orlando studios in this EA Sports Halftime Report. First up, though, a look at the next-gen stats for Jacksonville in that first half. And they've definitely been able to exploit some holes in that opposing secondary, as they threw for close to 200 yards in those first 2 quarters. Meanwhile, for the Texans, we check out their numbers on the ground as they'll try to keep the momentum going into the second half.
All right, Coach, thank you very much as we welcome you back for quarter number 3. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the 3rd quarter. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. And the Texans getting ready to go here to begin the 3rd quarter. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better, and I think they'll try and help them out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation to pick up those pass rushers, because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
They'll start on the ground here on 1st down. And the result here, a pickup of 8. Leaves them with 2 to go on 2nd down.
That was a good run, and it got to the 2nd level. And what I mean by that is that's where the linebackers usually play. First level being the defensive front, last level being the secondary. But the strong safety position ended up making the tackle, and oftentimes we call them a hybrid. Combination defensive back, combination linebacker. We saw the linebacker make the stop.
8 yards the tally on that 1st down run. Here's 2nd and 2. They'll fake the handoff. Now Watson. He finds his man Johnson. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 5 catches for him in that first half, and that's number 6 that we just saw, and also a 1st down.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the 3rd quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. A give. This is Foster. And he's going to take this across midfield into Jacksonville territory.
85 yards for him on the ground now as he has been terrific here this afternoon.
You know what really fires up offensive linemen? When the guy that is carrying the ball behind them can create his own space and break a tackle along the way.
Eight yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. A shotgun handoff now. Foster. Only a yard on the pickup, so a good situation on 2nd and 2. It's now 3rd and 1.
Haven't met a defensive coordinator yet that thinks 2nd and 2 is a fun situation to try and defend. Playbook is wide open for an offense, partner.
Nice job. Hold him to 1 after that 8-yard pickup on first down.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down.
Watson to throw on 3rd and 1. And the catch made by Hopkins. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 26. Well, they were in search of a short gain on 3rd down, and they wind up nabbing over 20 yards.
So he turned to a trusted, familiar face in that 3rd down situation. It paid off.
Yeah, you go to your veteran receiver in that spot, so you can't underestimate him when he's on the field defensively. Make sure you know where he is because he understands how to get open in key situations.
On first down, it's Watson. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. 23 yards on the tuck and run.
I am willing to bet that he got a monster grin on his face when he saw what was happening. Man covers were so committed to denying a big throw that it pulled attention away from him, and he had an easy lane to hit, and hit it he did.
What's the deal, y'all?
2 big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. They'll try and punch it in with Foster. Able to get a couple here, but won't get across the plane as they stop him right around the 1.
Good work there, holding them out on first down, and this is going to be a battle down here on the goal line. Can they hold their ground for 2, maybe even 3 more plays?
2nd and goal from the 1.
He'll try again. And good work there defensively as they're able to keep him out of the end zone.
Call it no gain that time, and now it's 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is a time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about
Fighting for the end zone. He lost the football. It's out. And who's got it? The defense does. They recover it in the end zone. That'll be a touchback, and the scoring opportunity turned away.
Well, give some credit to the defense. They forced the big play, knocked the ball free from him, but that's a cardinal sin by the quarterback. Know where you are on the field, and he just gave up at a minimum 3 points.
And instead of getting down, takes the contact. The turnover ensues.
They'll run with Taylor to begin the drive.
And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on first down.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
Up at the 29 now, they'll head to the line. 2nd and a yard. Off the play fake, he'll look to throw.
toward the sideline, and look at that catch. Dragging the toes, and that's going to be a first down. Well done. A good pickup there of 20 yards.
Oh, a lot of credit to the play caller here. He saw the design in his mind and implemented it. A little zone stretcher here because they started the tight end on the left side of the formation and sent him on a crossing route. And this works really well when you can find that space between levels, and they were able to do so for good yardage.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Only a yard on the keeper, and it'll be second down.
Anytime you decide to use your quarterback as a runner, most of the time when you design a play, you're expected to break a little bit bigger than this one, because when you run him on short gains, your risk-reward and him taking hits, I'm not sure that's the payoff they were looking for.
Second and 9 now. Under pressure, and the Texans able to get in there for the sack. That time, multiple defenders getting pressure, and it's a loss of 6.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive film session tomorrow may be a little longer than it normally is.
Not a lot of positive grades will be handed out thus far.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. They'll look to throw. They'll set up the screen to Taylor. And they went the wrong way there. Losing yardage back at the 43-yard line. It'll be a loss of 2 on the play. And it'll be fourth down.
No surprise they decided to throw on third down. A little bit of a surprise that they completed the pass and lost yardage on the play.
And the Jaguars send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the second time. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. Watson on first down. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Johnson. And that's good for a pickup of 10 yards. And that'll leave him with a second and just a few inches left.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
On second and very short, Watson. Now the pressure comes and he goes down. Just inside the 10, back at the 9. Miles Jack working free that time to take him down. A CD, a little bit of feast or famine for him. He's had some success throwing the football, but also now he's been sacked 4 times.
Yeah, you just mentioned the 4 sacks, but you're right. He has managed to hang in there and make plays at times. His offensive line, they've got to figure it out and pick things up and give him more opportunities, and he has to help them by getting rid of the ball a little bit quicker as well.
Throwing on third down, Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. And unable to connect, incomplete. I'll give them credit, they took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down.
That's an excellent job right there on third down. Like any defense, you never want to let them get anything started, and that would have been a first down. Instead, you saw the contact on time, no penalty, and before this drive could get wings, it's fourth down.
The punt team on now is from their end zone. They get it away. So possession goes over here on the punt. And the Jaguars go on offense, first down and 10.
And now this offense comes back out onto the field. And, Charles, they're certainly still right in this game, but they need that offense to wake up and in a hurry.
Yeah, I like the way you put it. They certainly did seem to sleepwalk a bit in the first half. Now that their defense has done its job, it's their turn now to go out and try and get some points.
Very good starting field position for the Jaguars offense as they come up first and 10 at their own 46. They'll start this drive out on the ground. And he goes across midfield and down into Houston territory. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
If you're a coach, you'll absolutely take that run every time on first down because it really sets you up to go in a number of directions here on second.
After the pickup of 5, here's second and 5. They'll look to throw here. Throwing middle, and it's complete.
And he's going to be taken down just shy of the 35.
It's a nice completion, a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? So from the 36 now, first and 10.
From the gun, it's Taylor. And that one opened up for him well as he'll take this down to the 26-yard line. 41 yards on the ground for him now on 9 carries.
First downs have not come easy, and neither have runs like this throughout this game.
Absolutely not. He finally felt like, whoa, a sigh of relief. We got something going in the running game.
Get him going one more time.
Back to Taylor on first down.
Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a second and 9.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense, and guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Back to throw.
This throw incomplete, nearly picked off. And with his pedigree, he doesn't drop many of those. With third down coming up.
With a rookie quarterback out there, you're definitely going to find out how he handles adversity because this one so far hasn't gone according to plan. He's got to fight through it and show him what he's made of.
On third down, he'll drop to throw. Forced out to his left. And he's left with no option here but to throw it away.
His impatience has to be bubbling over, trying to find a way to get his team to the end zone for the first time. He did find a way to break contain and get outside to buy his receivers a little extra time, but the connection couldn't be made on that throw.
Now a field goal try coming up here for the Jags. And this one a 41-yard attempt. And his kick is right there. It's good, and that'll make this an 8-point game.
So 3 points, maybe not a grand prize at this stage, but it does get them back within one score.
It certainly does because now they stay within shouting distance, so that means everyone on your sideline stays engaged in this game. They know they still have a shot.
Scobie now, kick it away after the made field goal.
Taken at the goal line. And he will make it back to the 15, and that's it. Good coverage there by the kick team.
And now out comes Houston.
No points last time out. They were forced to punt, if you remember, but no time to dwell on that. They've still got the lead here and a chance to add to that here. 1st and 10 as this new drive starts. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 15. They'll try and start this drive in the air. Flush to his right. And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be 2nd down.
The defense did its job of taking away a quick throw, but that's only half the battle because they've got to get to him before he can make a run for it. A little bit late containing him there, so he makes a nice gain out of a play that looked like it was in trouble.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Watson, it's complete to Hopkins. And he'll be corralled right around the 34. 90 yards receiving now for him in the ball game. It's a 1st down.
Well, they obviously red man covers their partner, and he got downfield, broke down the defender, made him
What do you mean by that, Bro?
Yeah, he made him think he was going to run a different route. Probably thought he was going to take it upfield, and then he curls back inside for the completion.
From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. Going up the middle, Foster. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. Another nice gain, 16 yards there and a 1st down again.
Boy, where would these guys be without his performance on the ground? That puts him over 100 yards now for the afternoon, and I tell you, he seems to be getting stronger as the day goes along.
From the 50, it's Watson. Escaping the pressure, and he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. Taken down for the 5th time this game. Multiple defenders there to get him.
This is a little hard for me to compute because I'm watching sack after sack happen, but somehow they're still behind in the game. I would expect all of this defensive pressure to translate to them taking a lead, and thus far, it hasn't happened. Time's winding down. They don't want to waste this type of performance from these ace pass rushers.
Final minute now of the 3rd quarter. Throwing on 2nd and long. Watson, throw right side, complete to Williams. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. And the Jags have 5 in the secondary here on 3rd down. Back to throw, Watson. Going deep for Hopkins. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
And that's a really good job there defensively. They went into this possession knowing that they needed to get a stop. They're in a tight ball game, and they got it done. Great work to force the 3 and out. Got the football right back for their offense. They've got to go to the sidelines feeling pretty good about themselves and encouraging their offensive mates to get some points.
And they won't risk defending a return here. That one's out of bounds, and it'll be spotted at the 14-yard line. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want a drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants a drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
2nd and 10. Thanks for tagging along with us here from Houston, Texas. And he'll be brought down on what's going to turn out to be the final play of this 3rd quarter. So they'll get a little extra time to come up with his third down play as we've played 3 quarters. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now in Houston. It's Jaguar football, but a little work to do for them. They trail here as we start the 4th. This offense so far on 3rd down, they've converted 3 times in 8 chances. This will be 3rd and 6. Wide open receiver complete. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. That 3rd down conversion good for 23.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a 1-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. First and 10, Taylor now. And he's across the 45. It'll be 2nd down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. He'll look to throw. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they'll get him down on the other side of midfield. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. You're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The Texans here on 3rd down, putting an extra defender in the secondary. He'll look to throw. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. No gain on the play. And that's going to make it 4th down.
As a defense, you're more balanced when you're in zone coverage because you're able to keep your eyes on the quarterback and see the play develop in front of you. They're able to keep the quick pass in front of them and stop it right at the line of scrimmage.
Needing the tough yards, they run it with their fullback. And he's not going to get there. Might have even lost a yard. He only needed a yard, but he couldn't even get back to the line of scrimmage. And this defense will take over right at midfield. Well, they turn to their bigger body there on the dive. Fullback dive, just couldn't get it done.
And sometimes even that bigger body needs even bigger bodies to help him get there. They weren't able to create a crease for him, ended up not getting the first down.
And the Texans set to come onto the field. This now a chance at the very least to burn some clock following that 4th down stop. Points would be ideal for some breathing room, no doubt. And really, a field goal would be huge. That would make it a 2-score game. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. This is Foster. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely. You want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Foster on 2nd down. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. A gain of 5, good enough for the 1st down.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to, and it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll go with the option, coming right. And he is going to lose yardage here. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12. Well, he's had success running the football in this one. Yeah, that's undeniable. But that time, the defense was on to it.
And, partner, I think the more you see a play like this, the more they're able to diagnose it quicker and easier for them to defend it. I think you have to dress it up a little bit and show maybe some different formations and looks.
So the first down run lost a couple. Now they come up 2nd and 12. Now Watson. The quick throw knocked away. It's incomplete.
But based on the play we just saw there, he might not be the guy you want to challenge in coverage on these all-important snaps. He certainly looks dialed in right now.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Here's Watson. And he gets this out to Foster on the right side. And he can only manage to take this thing to the 38, well shy of the first down. The time called here because a member of the Texans is in some discomfort. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. So now one of the biggest kicks of the night is forthcoming. This to make it a 2-score game. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. And that will extend their lead even further. So that's, CD, an important one here in the 4th quarter.
And that importance cannot be overstated. All eyes on both sidelines were staring that one down all the way. The significance is that they made it a 2-score game. Still lots of time left to go, but likely that was their goal at the start of the drive. Get 3 points, make it a 2-score game, and they were able to get it done.
Now Brown, after the made field goal, gets set for the kickoff. Taking it about the 1. Williams to return. And not much happening on the return as he'll get this to about the 23. And now out come the Jags. And the complexion of this one has changed a fair amount. That last field goal made it a 2-score game, so they need to get points out of this drive relatively quickly. They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
Tell you what, partner, after he ices down, he's going to need a nice long soak in a hot tub after this one. He's been under duress the entire game.
Yeah, once again, hit as he throws. Fortunate that one wound up incomplete. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. They'll set up to throw. And this will be swung out wide for Taylor. And they're able to get this one across the 35. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a 1st down.
Well, every drive from here out is definitely crucial and critical. They know that they need to get at least 3 here to get it back to a 1-score game. But I can't imagine that in their huddle that they're thinking at all about getting a field goal. They want to get into the end zone and then try and get the ball back again.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Over the middle, it's complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work this to the 45. You cannot write these guys off just yet, not with a quarterback like that under center.
You mean it actually crossed your mind with him running the team that you could actually maybe write this game off?
Not yet.
Not a chance. Not with him. We've seen it too many times.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 45-yard line. Back to throw again. It's caught. Mitchell.
And he's going to be taken down right at the 40-yard line.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of the formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there, couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
Now left side on the swing pass, and he'll lose yardage here. Back at the 41. A loss on that play, and now 3rd down gets tougher, 3rd and 6.
I thought that wasn't a bad time to call the screen. I thought late game, down on the scoreboard, had to figure they were expecting a pass downfield.
So the edge rushers, they're coming. That could have hit big. You're right. Good recognition defensively to snuff that one out. They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And that is incomplete.
No coverage bust by the defense here. They did a nice job accounting for everybody, and that led to an incompletion.
So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt. And I tell you what, he got it from 58. That had lots of leg behind it, and that'll make this an 8-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get at the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
Scobie now to kick it away after the made field goal.
From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line.
And here comes the Texans now. The field goal we just saw has us now at a 1-score game, and on this side of the football, things are getting pretty tenuous, a little stressful.
Blood pressure up a little bit, you think?
I think up a lot of bit.
Could you imagine taking the pulse right now? Might be like a jackhammer out there on that side of the ball, but here's what the deal is. I think what we've observed is a team that's been playing not to lose as opposed to playing to win. And they've got to get back to that, and that means opening things up again, being a little more free in what they're trying to get done on offense.
Under pressure now, Watson, and down he goes.
Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ball game. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack as a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
So after the sack, here's 2nd and 14. Watson now to throw. He gets this one to Johnson.
That's a good bounce back play right there after taking a sack on 1st down. Didn't quite get it to the marker, but now they're in a much better spot for a 3rd and short yardage call. If you're the offensive coordinator, you like looking at that section a heck of a lot better than trying to figure out 3rd and long.
They'll try and run for it with Foster. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. A 3rd down gain of 3 yards, and that'll be enough.
Well, it is our business to analyze what we saw out there, and on that play, I saw a defense staying in base, not taking a chance, not blitzing, in a situation where they absolutely need the football back. That's either a case of overthinking it or not thinking it through.
If you do blitz, do you have to be careful about where you're coming from, or are you just coming from all angles?
You have to be careful about where you're coming from, obviously, but at this stage, you have to take a few chances as well.
On first, they stick with Foster. A gain of 3 last play. This time they double it and pick up 6. If you can keep getting gains like that, Charles, with the lead here in the fourth quarter, I mean, keep running it, right?
No doubt about it, but what the offense coordinator has to do is understand they're going to continue to stack the line of scrimmage. What runs do you have in your arsenal that'll work against a stacked box and continue to move the ball?
From the 35 on second down, Watson, and Daniels has it over the middle. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 45-yard line. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
Well, that should be a reminder defensively, and I think it's a reminder to myself because you just can't sell out to stop the run. There's still enough time that this offense can move the football through the air, even on first and second downs, and they obviously picked the right spot to throw the ball there.
So in Jacksonville territory now, here's a 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. Out of the gun, they hand to Foster. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the first down run. He gets maybe 3. I'm sure that's going to be the formula. Just keep the ball on the ground. Keep that clock moving.
And when you have the lead this late in the game, above all, stay in bounds. Yes, take care of the football. Yes, gain yardage, but stay in bounds and let that clock tick.
On 2nd and 7, Watson. Johnson with a completion over the middle. And they're going to get this down near the 35-yard line.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down. Executed it to perfection. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Watson. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. It'll be a gain of 5, and it's 2nd down.
I do have to admit, I like it when it all comes together. When the top part, catching the football, right, whether you're catching it with your hands or cradling it, comes together with the legs, in this case the feet, doing a little toe tap to stay in bounds and complete the catch.
And a great job by our crew on the camera shot. Love when you see the grass or on the field turf, those rubber pellets flying up. Great catch. 5 yards on first down, but now just a 1-yard pickup there on second. Now the objective there, I mean, yes, the positive gain, that's nice, but work some clock.
Yeah, you're exactly right, but the problem for them is still within a possession, so they can't just sit on it running the ball. They'll have to find a way to throw it effectively as well.
Watson on 3rd down. And he's got his man in stride, complete. And he's going to have another first down as the tackle's made at the Jaguars' 17-yard line. Texans passing game in rhythm right now, picking up another first.
This has to go down as one of the simpler routes in the playbook, but oh so effective. Nice completion there. Keeps the sticks moving.
Not totally home free yet, but it's looking good as they come up 1st and 10. 4th quarter, down to the final 2 minutes, and we've got a 1-score game. So it's Texans football as we welcome you back. So from the 17 now, here's a 1st and 10. They run up the middle with Foster. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. And now right out of the 2-minute break, we'll get a timeout used defensively with 1:56 to go. Another running situation on the doorstep as they come up 2nd and 10. They'll go again with Foster. And he's got this inside the 10 to the 9 before he's out of bounds. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
I like that run right there, partner. Not the flashiest run, not the one that's going to break for big yardage, but he understands the situation, and taking care of the football, paramount, and he got it done.
Nursing that slim lead, you're exactly right. Hold on to that ball. And they'll try and run the option to pick it up. And he gets the first down yardage he needs before he's brought down at the 6. Now the Jags will use the second of their timeouts. And they'll be disappointed to have to burn one there after giving up the first down. First and goal, Foster. Now the defense will burn their 3rd and final timeout as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll try again down here with Foster. And he gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Houston. It's a 1-yard touchdown run. And the Texans have opened up a 2-touchdown lead here in this 4th quarter.
Well, that was absolutely ideal for them, wasn't it? Trying to salt this game away. I think one of my kids just graduated in the amount of time they had the football. That was absolutely impressive.
Everybody wants those salt-away-the-game drives. What makes them successful?
Well, when you're able to mix run-pass, when you're able to control the football and stay ahead of the chains, I'm using every cliche I know, but that's how you get it done because you're not taking negative plays, and that way you're able to run what you want to run when you get a chance to call it.
Extra point right down the middle, and the lead is up to 15 now. That drive, a long one, spanning 15 plays. And the result, a Houston touchdown. Brown now to kick it away after the touchdown. Taken in at the 3. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. So now the Jags down by 15. And time, a huge factor. They need 2 touchdowns and at least 1 2-point conversion mixed in there as well. They'll come out throwing here on first down. Pass complete to Taylor. It'll go down as a gain of 6, and that'll bring up 2nd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give them that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle them after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
Now the Jags are moving quickly in the hurry-up. And that's caught by Williams. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
Good throw, good catch, but I really like the route. The drag and being able to run away from defenders, hard to stick with them for that long.
Yeah, better against man than zone, or?
Better against man, because now you're running away from someone and you're not running into a defensive player in another zone.
They'll look to throw now on first down. That's complete to his running back, Taylor. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play, and that'll make it 2nd down. And right now, defensively, you love that, don't you? You'll give them that play.
And they'll take it every single time. This is almost like nickeling and diming it downfield, and too much time's going to run off the clock.
They'll look to throw again. Got a man, and he hits him in stride. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. 11 yards there for Jacksonville and a first down as well.
And that's a more than acceptable read right there because it's zone coverage, so timing is everything. This time he waits for his man to come open, puts it right on him, and they pick up a first down.
They go play action here on first down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield.
Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
When you're leading in the final quarter, your radar has to be up for any potential deep shots. And probably not the last one they're going to see in this game, not as long as they hold this lead.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Again, he'll drop to throw. Incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock.
Well, they've certainly had trouble unlocking this defense through 3.5 quarters, so I don't expect it to get any easier now. You know they're going to be sitting back and waiting on everything, and they force an incompletion there.
One final shot. They'll look to throw. He's going to let it fly. And that will be incomplete as time has run out on this football game.
So this one in the win column for the Texans, and it's thanks in large part to the play of their quarterback, Charles, and that's one Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, what struck me was how composed he was in the pocket. The numbers weren't spectacular. He had 2 touchdown passes, that's it. But he led his guys on some important drives when they needed it most, and they're going to come away with the victory.